Hey everyone, my name's Andy, and today I'll be presenting my short and sweet review on the book Drive, the Surprising Truth About What Motivates Us. So let me just start off by summarizing the main points of this book. The glaring theme of Drive is how we harness our motivation to increase the achievement and happiness. The author Daniel Pink contends that the traditional techniques of motivation, such as incentives and punishments, are losing their ability to drive motivation, and instead proposed that there are three core considerations that work well in motivating people, defined as the model he labels Motivation 3.0, which is essentially built upon the self-determination theory. The importance of this topic is apparent both in work and in our personal lives. We all desire to be inspired, involved, and fulfilled in both our professional and personal life. And many conventional motivation techniques, including extrinsic rewards or punishments, however, might not be effective or long lasting. He argues that instead, we can create conditions that support intrinsic motivation, which leads to high engagement, creativity, and productivity by understanding the primary determinants of motivation, as Pink explains in his book. These ideas Pink explores throughout his book are based on scientific research and real world examples. He provides a compelling case for why autonomy, mastery, and purpose are such powerful motivators and how they can be used to foster greater engagement and success. Now, moving on to the main ideas of the book, an early idea explored by the book is the idea of intrinsic motivation, including carrot and stick motivators such as rewards and punishments are outdated and not effective as intrinsic motivations, where people do tasks because it's inherently interesting or enjoyable. In other words, he argues that the type of extrinsic motivation are not effective for more complex tasks that require some creativity and problem-solving skills for innovative workplaces in the 21st century. Pink highlights that the traditional way of using rewards and punishments to motivate people can actually be counterproductive. He suggests that the external rewards can narrow our focus and make us less creative, while punishments can create fear and reduce intrinsic motivation. And this idea challenges the notion that extrinsic motivation is the primary driver of motivation, and that the belief that of the people not only work for the money or the external rewards. And quite frankly, this notion contradicts current motivational theories. For example, the expectancy theory, which states that once the three conditions are satisfied, and in this case specifically valence, which is the attractiveness of rewards to one's needs, then motivation to engage in a task is high. Pink therefore suggests that instead, rewards can actually have negative effects on performance and creativity. And furthermore, Pink presents a novel motivational model that focuses on three core components of intrinsic motivation, being autonomy, mastery, and purpose. Where autonomy means to have the control over one's work, mastery involving making progress and improving on something, and purpose involving working on towards something that is meaningful. And he argues that the traditional view of motivation as driven by rewards and punishments is incomplete, and instead suggests that true motivation comes from three factors. In addition to this model, Pink defines the idea that the idea of type 1 and type X behaviors, and that individuals display one of two distinct types of behaviors, and type 1 being type I, characterized by intrinsic motivation, and type X behaviors characterized by extrinsic motivation. This idea challenges the traditional understanding of which people are primarily driven by external rewards, such as grades or paychecks, and stresses the intrinsic motivation is far more important for long-term satisfaction and success, thus encouraging organizations to shift towards creating environments that promote intrinsic motivation. Intertwining with these previous ideas, Pink ties a knot by establishing that humans have an innate drive to be autonomous, self-determined, and connected. And if we focus on the creating environments where this drive can be expressed, people are more productive, fulfilled, and happy, ultimately helping us to find purpose in the tasks we do. And the book emphasizes throughout the onus on businesses and organizations to rethink their management practices to better align with the principles of intrinsic motivation, whereby it supports the employees in finding meaning and purpose in their work, and suggests that companies that focus on a larger purpose beyond the bottom line tend to have employees who are much more engaged and motivated. And the book mentions Atlassian, an Australian company, a software company that allows for its employees to use 20% of the time on work to work on projects that are not directly related to their job description. And this policy, known as Shipper Days, allows employees to work on passion projects that they are personally interested in, which has led to the development of many successful products and initiatives. And he references his company to highlight the importance of allowing employees to have autonomy and freedom to pursue their own interests. And we need to recognize that financial incentives may not be just enough to drive sustained high level performance in the workplace, but instead, we need to create work environments that allow people to connect with their purpose and feel like they're making a meaningful connection. This can be a challenge because it requires a shift in mindset and culture, which might involve rethinking the way we structure work and create more opportunities for people to find and connect with their purpose. And this may be something employees on creating a sense of shared missions and visions and provide employees with tasks that more so aligns with their values and interests. Now, on to critique regarding the limitations of first idea and drive, which challenges the traditional use of rewards and punishments as motivators. It's important to recognize that while intrinsic motivators can be a powerful driver for behavior, they might not be equally effective for everyone or for every situation. For example, some individuals might have a stronger need for external validation or might be motivated by competition or recognition. Additionally, not all tasks require the same level of intrinsic motivation, and some might simply be too mundane or routine to stimulate a sense of purpose or mastery. To address these limitations, it's important to recognize that motivation is complex and multifaceted, and are multiple, and different individuals and tasks might require different approaches. While intrinsic motivators should be considered in designing work environments and motivating employees, external motivators such as rewards and punishments should not be dismissed entirely. One possible way to revise this idea is to adopt a more holistic approach to motivation, incorporating intrinsic and extrinsic motivators and tailoring strategies to individual needs and preferences. Now, the second critique is regards the second idea from Drive, which argues many that the autonomy and mastery and purpose are key intrinsic motivators, which is important to recognize that these are factors may not be equally accessible or relevant to all individuals. For example, some individuals might not have the opportunity to exercise autonomy in the workforce, or may not feel a sense of purpose in the job. But additionally, mastery may not be an immediate goal for all individuals, and some might simply be looking for a stable income or sense of security. To address these limitations, it's important to recognize that autonomy, mastery, and purpose are not the only intrinsic motivators, and that different individuals might be driven by different factors. For example, some individuals might be motivated by social connection or sense of belonging, while others might be driven by the opportunity to learn new skills or contribute to a greater cause. To revise this idea, we can broaden our understanding of intrinsic motivators and work on to identify identify and cultivate a range of factors that drive engagement and fulfillment in different individuals. So, what exactly were the main lessons to be learned from this book? Well, I would like to share three pieces of practical advice that can be applied by fellow university students. The first piece of advice is to pursue autonomy in your work and life. This means taking control of your schedule, priorities, and goals, and this can be done by creating a schedule that works for you, setting realistic goals, and prioritizing activities that align with your values and interests. For example, you might create a schedule that allows for both studying time and hobbies or relaxation, and you might set goals for the semester that align with your long-term career aspirations. The second piece of advice is to focus on mastery over grades. Rather than striving for a high GPA, focus on developing your skills and knowledge in your chosen field. And this can be done by seeking out opportunities for growth and development, such as internships and research projects, or extracurricular activities that allow you to apply what you have learned in the classroom. For example, if you are studying psychology, you might apply for an internship at a mental health clinic or volunteer at a research lab to gain practical experience and deepen your understanding of the subject. The third piece of advice is to find purpose in your studies rather than studying for the sake of getting a degree or job. Find a deeper purpose and passion that motivates you. This can be done in different areas of study, seeking out interdisciplinary opportunities or connecting your studies to larger societal issues. For example, if you're studying environmental science, you might take on a course on sustainable development or join a student organization focused on environmental advocacy. And by pursuing your autonomy in your work and life, focusing on mastery over grades and finding purpose in your studies, you will create a fulfilling and motivational university experience. Thank you all for listening.